Unlikely things to hear on Doctor Who.
When I was giving you a quote as your cleaner, Doctor, I was giving you a quote from the outside.
No, there isn't going to be a new Doctor. I'm being replaced by a helpline.
That is the last time we park the TARDIS outside the Portaloos at Glastonbury.
Davros, we meet again. Oh, Lord Sugar, I'm so sorry.
Hey, saw you from across the TARDIS, and I think I regenerated in my pants.
Doctor, you must help me. I think I'm a pair of curtains.
Tragic news about the Ood. There's been a terrible flood. They tried to escape into the wood, but it didn't do any good, and now they're all dooed.
No, I'm the doctor who works for the World Health Organization.
Yes, I mainly hang around young women. Yes, I was on television in the 1970s. Where are you going with this?
You've got to believe me, Clara. This is our best chance. Now, unzip my flies and I'll explain later.
Let's go forward in time by an hour. Then we get a quid off the pizza.
Now, the first thing to remember on planet Xenon is turn off data roaming.
We are 10 million years in the future. H.G. Wells has just got married.
You are the doctor. I am the tracheotomy patient.
I am the Doctor. I am 1,200 years old. And this is my assistant, who's 27.
The next topic is unlikely things to read on a medical label.
Use only if you're immobile or find it difficult to move. Tested on Dara O'Brien.
Anti-diarrhea medicine. In an emergency, shove the bottle up your arse.
As recommended by Michael Jackson.
Ditetramethyl chlorobenzoate for the anamial effluence of the tricordic aorta. Does exactly what it says on the tin.
Groin cream. Not suitable for people with a nut allergy.
Homeopathic tablets. Side effects, none. Main effects, none.
Embarrassed using anusol? Why not try this? Arse crack soothe.
Do not eat dairy. Otherwise, we will have nowhere to milk the cows.
Viagra. It'll give you more than 8%.
Contains placebox and made it upperlin.
Viagra, take 15 minutes before sex. Or if single, strap in for the wank of a lifetime.
Obesity pills. Don't eat the bottle, chubby.
Keep out of reach of children. Not the tablets, you.
store somewhere cool, like New York.
Pregnancy test. Pick up your daughter's boyfriend and shout, "Was it you?"
The end of that round. The point's going to Chris here in no time. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics it is. The answer is 10 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many hours of community service will Justin Lee Collins have to do before a girl agrees to date him again?
Is it the number of tweets that David Cameron's received to his new Twitter account that include the word tosspot?
Is it, if the planet Earth wore trousers, what size waist would it take? Well, is it?
Well, let me check my notes. No, it is not.
Is it how many units do I get through a week?
Is it... What does 10 million sound like if you say it when you've got a cold?
Is it how many STDs are circulating on the Isle of Fernandos?
I don't even know. I don't... What?
From Take Me Out.
I always thought Take Me Out was a show about people who wanted to be assassinated.
Is it how many tattoos would I have to look remotely hard?
Is it after how many sheep do you know that you're really not going to go to sleep?
Is it how many undeserved chances will Rihanna give Chris Brown?
Is it how much would Mr. T get if he went to Cash for Gold?
Excellent topical reference there.
Is it how many sugar puffs can you get in a pillar box?
Is it, in fact, what are the chances against getting a joke about Jim or Fricks?
Yeah, OK, we'll move on to the correct answer.
How many days has that sail been on at DFS?
I really do need you to go to the correct answer now.
Is it the amount of cuts that the Chancellor of the Exchequer is trying to find from the welfare budget?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, the question I was looking for was how much is the government planning to cut from the benefits budget? This is the news that at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week, Chancellor George Osborne announced that in its drive to reduce the deficit, the government will cut a further £10 billion from the welfare budget by 2017. Where's that going to come from?
Well, just checking, they're not cutting friends with benefits, right?
Still fine. That's still grand. Up to the age of 25.
It's quite difficult for them, isn't it, to know, because you're not allowed to like the people at the bottom end because they're poor and they're not helping themselves, so boo-boo to them. And you're not allowed to like the people at the top end because they're rich and they've got all the money and boo-boo-boo to them. And it's kind of getting squeezed more and more. Eventually, they're just going to put the recovery on one guy called Kevin Williamson of Warwick. It's all just going to be about him. We're really backing you to get this country back on track, Mr. Williamson. Holy shit!
There's a guy at home now in Warwick going, oh, God. Yeah. I cannot believe this. This is the worst way for it to be broken to me.
If he's been correctly chosen, he will there going, I knew that. I knew it was going to come down to me. I knew all these people, and I'm the only one who can do this. Darling, get my jacket. I'm going to leave the house.
Come on, Euro Millions this weekend.
David Cameron was determined to change the image of the Conservative Party, wasn't he? He wanted to just stop people thinking of them as the nasty party. He's done that now, because they're now thought of as the ruthless bastards party.
I feel sorry for the Tory party, because apparently last week they were all sent a badge saying Britain can deliver, but none of them arrived.
What a cheat that David Cameron wants kids to stay home until they're aged 25 when he can't even keep his own kid out of the pub aged 8.
I tried living with my parents, but it didn't really work out. Apparently I didn't see the no camping sign amongst the gravestones.
It didn't kill them. They're probably not dead. It's definitely a joke, all right? Please.
But he did really try and put sugar puffs in a lap.
Yeah. Nice OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those. My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said no. If anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, what can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door. And the vet said, muzzle him. I said, I don't know, but he's got a beard. I went round to see my nan. I said, what you been up to? She said, weed in the garden. I said, well, at least you didn't shit in it. I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing. And my girlfriend said, do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her. Which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
Thank you very much. Well done, Davey. Point there for Davey. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of Education Secretary Michael Gove. But what does GAEC stand for?
Is it Goverton's Elf College?
Genetic abnormality explains chin.
Amazing.
Is it something cock?
Is it Michael Gove saying, gosh, actual ethnic children?
Is it in fact what the kids have done to him? Glued arse to edge of chair.
Is it Gove Adonis, exuding charisma?
Is it adult literacy rates poor?
Gollum advises Earth children.
Is it Grindr adventure ends catastrophically?
OK, let's just give the correct answer, because frankly, nothing's going to top that.
Gove announced as emergency contraceptive.
Let's have the correct answer, please.
It's going to be something about Gove announces exam change.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Gove announces exam changes. This is the news that Education Secretary Michael Gove has announced a new English baccalaureate certificate to replace GCSEs. From 2015, students will work towards a demanding 3-hour exam at the end of a 2-year course rather than the current combination of coursework, modular exams and multiple retakes.
He's even invented an exam that thicker kids won't be able to pronounce. It's the back of what? The back of what? The back. Oh, give me a shovel, I'll go down a mine.
I think the idea is if you're academic, then you get a baccalaureate, and otherwise they teach you practical skills like how to baccalaureate.
The Tories have assured us that under this system no child will be left behind. But how can we take Tory promises that no child will be left behind seriously when their leader's David Cameron?
What's the, do you know what the abbreviation is?
It's called
EBC.
EBAC.
It's called the EBAC.
EBAC, which is when Yorkshire people make payment over the internet.
I thought that was something from Star Wars, isn't that?
Yes, it was. Do you know who hated the EBACs?
I bet you can't do the impression.
Skywalker! Your EBACs will not qualify you to run the Empire. Nah.
There's been a lot of debate over, you know, whether grades have been devalued, and I was discussing that recently with my nephew, Professor Timmy.
So, hang on, sorry, because it's one of these things that I genuinely am always perplexed about, coming from a different country as I have, with my spices and my silks.
You
To your nation. And there's so many great things about it, except your exams, which are mad. And not that the education, by the way, is great. I'm not saying anything about the education people get here, it's fantastic. But the exams are mad.
There are people who, when confronted with an exam paper, just go to pieces completely and forget how to count, and I think it's very unfair that they are marking the papers.
When I...
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is bad things to hear at the psychiatrist.
I don't want you to think of me as a psychiatrist. I want you to think of me as a mental patient who killed the psychiatrist before you got here.
You think you are a potato? On the couch, please.
Welcome to your first session of Freudian analysis. What seems to be the penis?
Well, you say that you're paranoid, but I have a report here that says you looked very relaxed in the bath this morning.
Oh, yes, I can see why you fancy your mother. She's something of a fox.
You've been coming here for 6 months to talk about your trust issues. Well, we've been filming you for Britain's nuttiest bastards.
Yes, I think your parents caused you problems from a very early age, Clitorina.
Your thoughts that you're horrifically unattractive are all in your mind, Mr. Johnson.
OK, word association. I'm going to say a word, and I want you to say the first thing that pops into your breasts.
Wow, that's really interesting. Do you mind if I use some of this stuff as lyrics for my band?
You have emotional problems and a below-average IQ. I'm prescribing Hollyoaks.
Oh, that's a classic dream. It means you're a paedophile.
I want you to go to your happy place. Judging by the size of you, that's probably Greg's.
Hypnosis could certainly help with your intimacy issues. While you were unconscious, I rested my nuts on your head.
OK, here we go. The first subject is nationality. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll take it.
Jared.
Like most of you, I've got a nationality. I'm from New Zealand, and the thing is, growing up in New Zealand was pretty tough. It's pretty tough, especially with the name Jared Christmas. That's my real name. Jared is spelled J-A-R-R-E-D. Thanks, Mum and Dad, that's Jard. Cheers for the double whammy of Christmas as well. Woo! High school was a treat. For a whole year, I had a teacher. Whenever she was calling the register in the morning, I was never allowed to go, "Hi, hello, I'm here, good to see you." No, every morning it was Anders, present, Brown, present, Christmas. But I don't want to show off or anything, but I've got an older brother. All right, thank you. And he's in the New Zealand Army. It's just him. And now you're laughing because you're thinking, New Zealand got an army? What was the last conflict they were involved in? Lord of the Rings, that's what they did.
Well done, Jared. Thank you very much. Jack, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, it's charity.
I find charity quite confusing. I was walking down the street the other day, and one of those women with the blue NSPCC bibs and a bucket and clipboard came up to me. She said, "Do you like kids?" I said, "Surely there's got to be subtler ways of catching sex offenders." But I do like the people that go and do it, charity work, when they, like, leave school and stuff. The girls that go off and do it for, like, a year, and then they come back and you realise the only reason they've done it is so they can shove it down your throat. Like, oh, my God, it was so amazing. We went to Tibet. Oh, literally, where to start? Preferably near the end. Me and my friend Viskiri, who's ethnic, by the way, did I mention, and Cassandra, who's properly working class and has a penchant for benefit fraud, well, we just talked around Tibet, making the most amazing Thai grass, talking about, like, 9/11 conspiracy theories and foot-massaging lepers, and we found the most wonderful little monastery on the foot of Mount Hitra Pitra Matra Fikatra Atu. And we stayed there for weeks, just helping the orphans. It just makes you think, haven't the orphans suffered enough? I did it, though. I did a bit of charity work once. On my gap year, I went and did a little bit of volunteer work in a special needs school for children and just playing games with them, football, tennis. And it does genuinely make you feel really good inside, because you always win.
Well done. At the end of that round, the points go to Little Bit of It. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry you're dead. What can you do?
Sorry you're leaving. And sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
That was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it. The Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming.
You've passed away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, Jim McMahon. Points going to Rorish, you and Miles.
OK, here we go. The first subject tonight is unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
Our next award is for most inaccurate weather forecast of the year. Let's look at the 9,000 nominees.
Welcome to the Islamic Awards for Acting, or as we call them, the Moscas.
Well, gosh, so many people to thank. Where to begin? Obvious one, I suppose, Hitler. What?
And the award for Best Envelope Glue goes to...
Now, Teacher of the Year. Quieten down. It's your own time you're wasting.
Time now for us to celebrate some of the stars of show business who sadly are still with us.
I'll just open the envelope. Oh, it's full of gold.
And the award for special effects goes to the team behind Gordon Brown's smile.
And now we're going to watch a film showing some of the people that we've lost this year, including two you didn't even know were dead.
I'd bang that, I'd bang that, wouldn't bang that, I'd bang that.
Anyway, the award for Best Actress goes to...
Welcome
to the Accident at Work Awards.
And winner of the Suicide Bomber of the Year. I'm afraid they couldn't be with us tonight.
And the winner of the best scientist in physics is... There's no ramp, Stephen Hawkins, it's not you.
The next category is things you wouldn't want to hear on a cruise.
This is your captain speaking. Welcome to Somali Cruising.
We've had reports of an iceberg, but don't worry, no ship has ever been sunk by a lettuce.
Hello and welcome to Ryanair Cruises. The following safety announcement is incredibly vital if you want to stay alive. And if you'd like to hear that, that'll be an extra £5.
No, we very rarely get any injuries from people playing quoits. You were just unlucky to be sunbathing naked with an erection.
Oh, yeah, we were on this last year when it sunk.
If you look to your left, there's a man eating squid. After that, he's having chips.
I would like to apologise for the rocking of this boat, but we are currently being humped by a whale.
Thanks for coming to the show. I've got to be honest, it's been a while since I've sung this one. Do you want to be in my gang, my gang?
Welcome to Rita's Erotic Ping Pong Bingo. Two fat ladies, 18. All the threes, 33. Oh, some hobnobs.
For those of you gathering on the car deck, I said we would soon be docking, not dogging.
I'm looking for a really old husband with money. How's your heart?
Yeah, I'm in the cabin next to yours. Could you be a bit noisy when you're having sex?
There appears to have been an incident in the swimming pool. If a Mr. Barrymore could contact the captain.
Okay, the end of that round. Points go to Chris, Hugh and Sarah.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Wow, women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes, and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP.
Oh, well, come on, I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
You've already used your 50-50 to narrow down the options to A, in, or B, out. Mr. Cameron, are you sure you want to ask the audience?
Well, in that round on sexually transmitted diseases, you passed on 4.
We asked you for things that start with an E. You said, a great night out with the lads.
Welcome to Britain's only quiz about birds of prey. Fingers on buzzards, please.
Here at the Chase, we just want to reiterate that our Chase is not called the Dark Destroyer for any ethnic reasons. Now, please, could you welcome our new chaser, Raj the Head Wobbler Patel.
So the final round on OAP quiz is sudden death. Boom!
Welcome to Eggheads. Well, we couldn't call it smug pricks, could we?
Welcome to Tipping Point, for people who are too thick to follow the chase.
Name, Keith Vaz. I mean, Jim. Occupation, MP. I mean, washing machine salesman.
I'm afraid we're going to have to take your first answer, so let's see if the capital of Azerbaijan is fuck if I know.
Is that your final answer? I'll marry someone else then.
Well, at the end of this week's episode of University Challenge, the scores are Durham 170, Exeter 145. But, of course, the real winner is Ivo's dad, Hugh at home, who got 2 questions right and is going to bang on about it for the rest of the bloody week.
Well, we've given the contestants their meth and sent them to Hampton Court. Welcome to the Crystal Maze.
My chosen specialised subject, your wife. Yeah, you heard me.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Well, that was the banker, and he says he thinks you're going to accept this deal because in his box is your wife.
Well, today it's Kelly Brook and Joey Essex versus Stevens, Hawking and Fry. This is fucking pointless.
At the end of that round, the points go to Robert, Ed and Ivo. Now we play a round called NHS Revolving Door of Happiness. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our high-tech news generator and it randomly settles on a topic and anyone can volunteer some jokes about the chosen subject. The team producing the funniest stuff gets the points. OK, here we go. The first subject is... Let's spin the wheel. It's travel. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now then, It is quite tricky, isn't it, travelling at the moment? You go over to America, they actually fingerprint you now, ladies and gentlemen, but only 2 of your fingers. So provided you've used only 8 fingers to commit a crime, you should be absolutely fine. America, of course, the self-styled home of democracy, when at the moment their current president is the son of a previous president, and it looks like their next president may well be the wife of a previous president. What a democracy, hey, ladies and gentlemen? Say what you like about Britain, but I think we're unlikely to elect Mark Thatcher or Norma Major. They do, of course, say that Americans have no sense of irony. Now, I don't think this is true. I think Americans do often have a sense of irony. What they often don't have is a sense of self-deprecation. Only in Britain would we have a best-selling book entitled Crap Towns, and they'll have to produce a second book, Crap Towns 2, because too many British people had written in complaining that their town hadn't made the first book.
Thank you very much, Andy. Right, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is relationships. Yeah, that means relationships, that picture there. That represents all of our
That looks like an
relationships.
extramarital relationship. Good. Hello. I've taken this subject. Yes, I am in a relationship with my wife. Thank you. We've married for 3 years, and we've been together for 8 in total. And supposedly this is enough for her to say to me the other day, quite by surprise, she says, I want to try this thing. My friends have done it. I've seen it on the TV. It's really good fun. Just say you'll do it. I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I can't really agree to that. Just say you'll do it! So I thought, OK, well, I don't want this to be a row. I haven't really said anything yet. So I said, fine, what is it? She said, great! We can write a list. It really took me by surprise, of 5 people we're allowed to sleep with from outside of the marriage. I thought, are you joking? Are you serious about this? It's really good fun! I've already done my list. OK, fine. So I humoured her, so I compiled this list. She gives me her list. I just wanted to run it by you girls, because I felt it was kind of predictable. There were no surprises, usual suspects. George Clooney was #1 on the list. Brad Pitt was on the list. Justin Timberlake was on the list. She's like, give me your list, give me your list. So I give her my list. #1, your sister. She's like, where are you going? I'm going to phone your sister. You didn't think this through, did you, darling? Why don't you try George Clooney's agent? Thank you. That's my joke.
Well done, Michael. Thank you very much. OK, Russell and Frankie are left. The next topic is men's health is the next topic, as represented by the knee. The window on the man's soul, the knee.
Well, we've all been there, let's be honest. Jesus. And it's got quite a nice pant ferret there, which is a bit of hair. Never mind. Hey, we all call it our pan ferret, don't we, children? Men's health, basically, it's quite an embarrassing story. Because it's terrifying when you go to the doctors, and you're so scared. I turn into a 6-year-old boy. I'm totally unable to explain what's wrong with me. I'm like, doctors like that, what's wrong with you? Who did this to you? Dragons. And you're sat there, terrified. 3 times in my life, I've been convinced I've got testicular cancer. Every single time, it's been an ingrowing hair. It's, yeah, funny. It's getting to the stage. I need something terminal just to stop me looking like a massive pervert. You know, it's that... There's no way of getting comfy when you're having your balls checked, because the doctor's like, obviously, my balls aren't that big. If you sat there go, well, you do appear to have a problem, Mr. Howard. You appear to have camel's gonads. But you don't know where to put your hands, you know? You can't sort of do that or anything. I toyed with the idea of doing that, but... I wish I'd been courageous enough just to go... But I didn't. I sat there like a timid T-Rex as my penis gently shrunk. And it's horrible, because the only good thing about going to the doctors is the ladies' magazines. You know, it's always the same. I found love in Falaraki. The most orange woman you've ever seen. Like morph in a frock, clinging on to some terrified waiter. He gives me love 24/7. Cut your own fish fingers, Darren. He's a keeper. You're literally flicking through. When you get to the middle, that's when it gets properly ridiculous. There's always some woman staring at that. There's a ghost in my womb. I was walking downstairs. It flew out me vulva. It were Henry VIII. That's the only good thing about going to the doctors.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. OK, I'll give him a round of applause again. Sorry, Robert. Well, now that we've comprehensively dealt with the topic of men's health, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. Yeah, by process of elimination, Frankie, away you go.
Latvian runners.
I'm guessing that's sport.
It's sport. Oh, did I not? Oh, I thought we were still on men's health, to be honest. I thought we were still dangerous to the testicles, really, is what that picture seems to indicate to me. OK, we'll, let's do it again. Sorry, my mistake. OK. Do you want to go? Yeah, there we go. Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. I'm guessing sport.
They say that the Olympics is going to rekindle English national pride. I mean, come on, for 9.2 billion, you could have written "fuck off Germany" onto the moon. It's good they're holding the Olympics in the East End of London. It means the athletes will have to use extra skill to work out which of the gunshots they heard was the starting pistol. Glasgow's getting in the act. Glasgow's bidding for the Commonwealth Games. Be good to finally see an international athletics event with a crowd fail a drugs test. The East End of Glasgow is already like an Olympic village. Lots of people who struggle to speak English wandering around in tracksuits. I'm looking forward to our opening ceremony, seeing them lighting that torch from a smouldering Ford Focus.
Frankie Boyle, they're done up. Well, let's give the points. Round of it. Andy and Russell get the points in that one. Come back down. The next topic is unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, why does semen make you fat?
Dear Deirdre, I have spent the last 6 months living with a beautiful woman, but yesterday she found out.
Dear Deirdre, I swear Eastern European meerkats are trying to sell me car insurance. Am I going mad? Dear Deirdre, last time I wrote to you, you told me that there was nothing wrong with masturbation. Why then, yesterday, did I get thrown off the bus?
My girlfriend's livid because I got drunk and did a shit on the roof. Please tell me, how can I wipe the slate clean?
I have terrible trust issues. Please help me, Deirdre, if that's your real name.
Dear Deirdre, my husband is pressurising me to try Alan. Also, how do I turn off predictive text?
Dear Deirdre, I have just bought a diesel VW and I am fuming.
My wife wants us to experiment in the bedroom, but last time we did that, the Bunsen burner singed my pubes.
Dear Deirdre, I can only achieve orgasm while writing a letter. Do you think it's... It doesn't matter.
Dear Deirdre, how do I turn off caps lock?
Dear Deirdre, look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Is there any other tips on satisfying my wife? As we own our own business, my wife and I often make love at work, and we love to try new positions. Tomorrow, I'm finance director, and she's head of IT.
Dear Deirdre, I have a mole on the end of my penis. How much trouble am I in with the RSPCA?
At the end of that round, the points go to Rob, Holly and Ed. Yes, it's a picture of the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, and his defeated opponent in the leadership election, Owen Smith. At the Labour Party conference this week, Corbyn was unveiled as leader after being re-elected with nearly 62% of the vote. So he won it very easily, and he did very well, but at the same time, that may not translate into anything in terms of winning a general election.
No. I mean, it's not going to translate into having a cabinet either, is it? A shadow cabinet. He's going to have to do a shadow cabinet like, you know, Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone with the shadows. It's going to be a literal shadow cabinet.
What is that? Mannequin for defence?
You've got to admire the Labour Party's ability to see the Conservatives in chaos and respond like this. You call that political disarray? Sit down, let the professionals show you how it's done. We'll see your chaos and raise your botched coup that involves our deputy leader having to be called home early from Glastonbury.
He's incredible in that he can gather so many people together in a rally and they sort of see him as a messiah in the same way he will probably be crucified in the next election.
Some statistics like that the largest political party in Europe or something at the moment, the largest amount of members. I mean, he rode in on a huge wave of success. It should translate across, and yet, and don't see any attack on him. It feels like winning the technical challenge in Bake Off, you know, where you make some
stop angling for the job.
Just saying.
Can I interject here? Has anybody on this stage won the technical challenge in Bake Off? Yes. Yes.
What did you have to make?
Lemon meringue pie, bitches!
OK, right. Two things. Firstly, you were doing great on I won the technical challenge on Bake Off until you said the words, a lemon meringue pie. When you know... No! That's just a cake. That's not a technical challenge. It's some 17th century...
Lemon meringue pie is not an easy technical bake. In fact, Paul Hollywood even said, he looked at me and said, I bet I'm going to cut right into that, and all the meringue's going to just pour out of it. Did it? Did it? Bugger it!
OK, well, you killed my metaphor, which I was going to do a really nice thing.
I didn't mean to kill your metaphor. I just meant to point out that I am more qualified to wield it than you are, that's all.
I'll give you that. Tell us about your
This is actually turning into the Labour Party conference.
Tell us about your showstopper, Ed. How did that go? How did your showstopper go?
Didn't go well.
Didn't go well, did it?
Carrot cake and it was raw in the middle.
And then you just threw icing at it like you were trying to smother it.
You're slagging, but I like the fact that you watched.
What did Corbyn say about the MPs who would...
Well, he said he'd wipe the slate clean, probably with their own faces, but he will have them back. There'll be no hard feelings.
He said most will not get deselected, which is not the most reassuring way of putting that. It's like if a doctor says, we can save most of you, still end up, this hasn't gone well somehow, and I'm down a limb or two at the end of this particular interaction.
You can't trust the Labour Party anyway. At the beginning of conference, they always sing the song, we'll keep the red flag flying. But if they get into power, that means no one can go swimming.
Is it 600,000 followers?
I think they're followers, aren't they? Necessarily. That's Christ you're thinking of.
Also, I think he's got
12.
Did you see the book of poetry?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. It's very, very lovely, yes. Labour supporters released a book of poems for Jeremy Corbyn that Michael Deacon from The Telegraph tweeted about.
Corbyn's not even a good word to rhyme with, unless most of the poems about Dorbin. Or get my J-Class, do some absorbing. They're your two options, really. If it was Jeremy Hunt, we'd all have a big laugh and it'd be fun. Let's deal with that now and move on.
The Corbyn sounds a bit... So you've got the green bin for glass, haven't you? You've got the black bin for plastic. You've got the Corbyn for recycled old ideas from the 1970s.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
Oh, sorry, that is... Wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. OK, sorry, Hugh, you'd like to go in there? Yeah,
it's okay.
absolutely.
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a gwirl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. £12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro, Mesut Ozil. Fast forward...
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something, so they brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a charity appeal.
British Red Cross. Just 3 adjectives to describe the average UKIP voter.
Stuck in a chair, barely able to move. Please help us get Dara walking again.
Peter Andre will be with us later. He's got a new single, and if our donations don't double, we'll let him perform it.
For just 50p, Dara O'Brien will toss you off in comic hand relief.
50p?
50p is no way I'm paying that.
God, give me a quid at least. I'm classy. Kiss him and everything.
Shoplifters Anonymous, helping people to help themselves.
If you're starting a family, why not consider adoption? But hurry up, otherwise it'll only be the ugly ones left.
With your money, I'm going to start a human organ delivery service called Liveroo.
Every day, these people walk up to 15 steps to get water. With your money, we can employ waiters at Nando's.
At the National Trust, for just £70 a year, you can have unlimited access to national treasures, like the gardens of Stour Head or the sumptuous interior of Judi Dench.
The thing with a disease like HIV is that many people are just ignorant. Most people don't even realise that HIV is just Roman for high five.
Robin needs clean, cold water and something nutritious to eat, because last night he got shit-faced.
These people are disease-ridden. They haven't had a shower for weeks. Donate now. Save a life in Magaluf.
This is the People's Dispensary for sick animals. This tiger has 3 dicks. How sick is that?
Give a man a duck and he'll feed himself for a week. Teach a man to duck and he'll avoid low-flying objects.
With your money last year, we took this homeless man and completely transformed him into a homeless woman.
And now on Comic Relief, it's time for some harrowing footage as the cast of Birds of a Feather sing the hits from Greece.
Between you and me, those rescue cats can't even swim, let alone rescue anyone.
The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the only charity looking after the needs of Cockney women.
For just the price of a cup of coffee, we can get little Nagubu a cup of coffee.
Pale, sad and hungry. We're raising money for the Irish football team.
OK, before it's go to Milton, Hugh and Angela. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Reece James, Dominic Hughes and Ed Gamble. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and
Cameron is basically trying to be tough against UKIP, isn't he? He's going to try and show everybody that he's really tough. Because what happened, he made a mistake. He called UKIP, he said all their supporters were fruitcakes, loonies and closet racists. And then loads of people actually went out after he'd said that and voted for UKIP. It was like he had described a large part of the British electorate. There is a party for me!
Finally.
Brilliant!
Don't you think it's ridiculous, though? I mean, the reason UKIP did very well in the European elections is because everybody's worried about immigration. And it's kind of... What I don't understand about that is why they think immigrants want to come here. It's like the immigrants have looked on TripAdvisor for Britain and gone, oh, yes, no, this looks good. Yes, it's cold, it's wet, they're shit at football, let's go there.
That was an incredible generic immigrant accent.
Very good. Tiny bit of Nigeria, tiny bit of the Indian subcontinent. It was amazing how you got them all.
A little Susan of Sri Lanka.
And a tiny little bit of meerkat.
In other news, what has David Cameron claimed he can't get on holiday?
Oh, this is the idea that he can't actually get mobile phone reception when he's on holiday in Cornwall. Said that he couldn't actually hear President Obama on the phone once. And you're thinking, surely that's just Obama, isn't it? Going, oh, I can't be asked to speak to Cameron. I'm losing you, David! I'm losing you! Bye!
It's a very kind of terrifying situation that World War III could break out, but David Cameron would not know and be at the Penzance Otter Sanctuary. Shall we invade Iran, David? Sorry, I'm at Trago Mills doing my shopping.
Yeah, that's good West Country knowledge. That's excellent West Country knowledge.
Have you been to Trago Mills?
I've never been to Trago Mills.
What is it, please?
It is a shop.
Thank you.
It's a shop halfway down the A38 that sells cheap carpets and sports equipment, and it's also made to look like a mock Tudor castle, and it has peacocks roaming the grounds.
Trago Mills sounds like a bad guy from a Bond movie. You have crossed me once too often, but you will rue the day you crossed Trago Mills.
I have cheap carpets and conservatory furniture.
I know that the point of this story is to sort of strong-arm mobile phone companies into sharing maths as some sort of technical element to it. But it is, I've paid a slightly ridiculous situation that if I walk 10 feet, I'm suddenly out. On all those times that Obama's ringing me, that I've got to return home, and like the local shopkeeper goes, "Oh, you had a phone call? You know, phone? Some Obama bloke rang." He said it was very sunny in Iraq.
It just shows you the different level of technology between the two countries. Obama's got Air Force One and the Beast, and Cameron has got a Samsung Galaxy.
I mean, do you think he got to the point where, like, you know, Nick Clegg finally thinks he's stepping up to the plate? Like, Cameron's on the phone. Listen, my phone reception is a nightmare. We've got an important situation. Nick, I need you to step up. I need you to do the right thing. Can you get in touch with Vodafone and get this sorted out?
Just call him on the landline.
Yeah. That does seem... You seem to have cut through the many levels of the story quite easily.
I wonder if he's on holiday with his family, it might be that he doesn't want to give Obama the landline number in case his mum answers. Oh, Mum, it's so embarrassing. You're supposed to talk to me, not you.
The honest truth is, Obama doesn't call him.
Why does he want to take work calls when he's on holiday anyway? He's on holiday, for heaven's sake. Obama shouldn't be ringing him when he's on holiday. He should be more bloody respectful. And secondly, we don't want him to be answering work calls. When he's on holiday, he needs to relax and get himself into the right sort of state of mind for running the country. You don't want him to be sort of making important phone calls about policy at the same time as he's trying to prevent his children squeezing sun cream into the car radio or something.
Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is... magazines. Who wants to come in that?
OK. As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? And magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong, like the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. At the end of the points go to Tips every time. Come on back, both of you.
And the first topic is health. Who wants to come out? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They're really nice to me. They're really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy. Which is good because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, OK? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway, before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in that I can be poured back into my body at a later date. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." And I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Miss Kumar. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. And the topic is transport.
When I was at school, my bike was smashed up. It was my own fault, really. I just handed out leaflets saying, "Bullying, let's break the cycle." "We've been over this again and again and again," said my driving instructor, pointing to the badger. Apparently, there is actually a road in the north of England called Quality Street. And there's only one person living in it, and he's both Turkish and delightful. Tricky, isn't it, if you're both a moth and a sea captain? In charge of a ship. But up ahead, you see a lighthouse. You know you shouldn't. Toilets in trains are rubbish, aren't they? Especially the one right at the front, and the bloke in there gets so cross.
And the points go to Nish Kumar. Come on back.
First up is language. Who wants to come in with that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip. Well, why didn't you say something before? Well, I couldn't, could I? You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you. Oh, really? How? The Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of... using their throat and their tongue and they're constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go-away horses. They're screwed, really, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. From what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change, though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently, and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over, and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
Interviews. Who wants to come in that?
OK.
Matt.
Go for that. It's fascinating watching different politicians and how they deal with interviews. Ed Miliband, when he gets asked a question he doesn't like, will just have this amazing technique where he'll just ask himself a new question and answer that instead. And it really works. He got asked before the election by Nick Robinson. Mr Miliband, you've said you'll set a new mansion tax if you become Prime Minister, but you won't yet tell us at what rate you would set it. And Miliband just went, look, Nick, if you're asking me, have I got a plan for the housing market, then the answer's yes. It's amazing. Farage is one of the best ones at it, because no matter what you ask him, he'll get a political answer in somewhere. You could say, Nigel, what you had for breakfast, mate? And he'd go, tea, toast and the Telegraph, great British breakfast. He always manages to get his messages across. Boris Johnson is fascinating because he just loves avoiding questions, and he uses a twin-track approach of flattery and Latin. And this genuinely works. If he was here now, you could say, Boris, come on, just admit it. You want to be Prime Minister? And he'd go, oh, no, let me just say, great to be here amongst such great learned people on this crucible of culture. Reminds me very much of a phrase my father used to use, divitas, divitum, rectum.
Well done, Matt. Very good. OK, so James is left. Let's see what he's been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is Britain.
I wish I was Mexican. Love everything about... I love Mexican food. My favourite place to eat is a Mexican restaurant called Oaxaca. All you need to know about Oaxaca, everyone steals their spoons. So much so that every January, Oaxaca have a spoon amnesty on. You bring back one of the stolen spoons, and then they reward you with 3 tacos. Genius. Not only do they get their spoons back, they also get to watch while the thieves eat tacos, which I imagine have been interfered with beyond belief. Love Mexican food, love Mexican music. Mariachi music, best music in the world. Top 3 mariachi songs. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3, nothing, because there are no other mariachi songs. Ever been to a mariachi nightclub? It's full of people just going up to the DJ like, hey man, have you got yeah, I'll play it next. How about open your ears, I'm playing it right now. You can request that song during the next one. Growing up in school, I was the only kid in my whole school who liked mariachi music. It was a nightmare. I couldn't walk down the corridor without some knob knocking my sombrero off my head, stepping on the back of my poncho on the way in a maths class.
Once, a kid wrote Chimichanga Bum Boy across my forehead while I was having my post-lunch siesta. He also drew a moustache on my face, but to be fair, that played into my hands.
Bravo, very good. It's close, but for sticking to the topic, James Acaster gets the points. Well done to both of you. Come on back.
The subject is family. Who wants to come out of that? Russell.
So, it wasn't easy growing up trying to be a little liberal kid in the most right-wing family in the whole of my town. My dad was the most right-wing person I knew, but always quick to point out, I'm not racist, but. That was the danger word. I'm not racist, but... Or the latest remix, which is even more innocuous and dangerous. All I want to do is have a sensible discussion about immigration. Yeah? Isn't it obvious? Well, no one with that face wants a sensible discussion about anything. I just want to have a sensible little chat in the back of that transit van over there, yeah? Me and my brothers, the rest of your family, Mr. Woolham-along, whatever your bloody name is, mate, yeah? Get in the van, right? My dad even managed to be prejudiced about my first car decision. How do you even achieve that? By British or German. Do not bring Crappanese onto my driveway, boy. Not only that, but I chose a hybrid car. Part electric, part petrol, papa, right? Another question mark hanging over my sexuality. It's the noise of it when it drove off. Thanks for Sunday lunch. Bye, Daddy.
Well done. Good mark. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
I used to work at a Christian rock festival selling toasties. The best day was when I sold this Jewish bloke some yellow ham. My dad was a dustman. I didn't like him coming to collect us from school, though. Not because I was ashamed he was a dustman, it's just you never knew which day he was going to come. The rest of my family were police marksmen. Apart from my grandfather, he was a bank robber. He died quite recently, surrounded by his family. My uncle, he's a police frogman. No, sorry, he's a French policeman. I used to work in a supermarket. It was my job to hand out samples of things for people to taste. But I was asked to leave after the little cups of bleach incident. After that, I worked in a pathology lab. But I was asked to leave after one of my reports said, cause of death, autopsy.
And the first topic is home life. Nate.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's going to slap the black off me when she sees this. So, yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment, mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is like right next door, so like every time they do it, I hear everything. Like a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night, I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, "Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh lord, oh lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty." So I screamed out, "You're not my real dad!"
Thank you very much, Devin Devin.
OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Just couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, "Oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal." Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, "Is that man all right?" Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
Well done. Gemma, quite good. Ed Gamble, come on back.
The next topic is charity. Joe, you going for that?
All this talk of famine makes you a bit peckish, doesn't it? It's comic relief, right? Keep asking me if I'll go out to Africa, you know, to sort of comfort people. But how are they going to feel with me getting off the plane? Hello! You're all hungry, are you? I've had a good dinner. And, you know, there are huge problems to be tackled in Africa. I don't know if you know this, but actually in South Africa, you can insure yourself against getting raped because if you catch the HIV virus, treatment's really expensive. And what's that going to be like? You know, you're walking along, some bloke jumps out from behind a hedge, gets his ghoulies out, and you think, "Oh, Christ, there goes me no-claims bonus there."
Sit down, Joe, please.
OK, let's have another topic. Topic is crime. Who's coming in? John.
The most important thing to remember about crime is that any law only makes sense in context. Look at sport. Punching someone repeatedly in the face is lauded in boxing, but is seriously frowned upon in table tennis. Similarly, if you come out of your corner in a boxing round bouncing a little ball on a bat, it's going to be literally seconds before you're staring at some lights. Furthermore, Moses. Now, there's a man who'd be on pretty much anyone's list of top 5 Jews. But think about it. When he led the children out of Israel, he was technically guilty of 3,000 counts of abducting a minor, bush arson, trespassing, and abducting the sea. And yet he walks free today. There really is no justice.
Well done, John. Very good. Sit down. Leaving us with 2 contestants. 1 topic we'll give you. Fight it out. Straight battle. What's the last topic this week? Jacques Chirac. Europe, let's say. Hugh, do you want to go first?
Britain isn't getting on very well with France at the moment, and it is partially because the French are a bit snooty. For example, take Concorde. Do you know, in the original version of Concorde, the French had their plane built with the front hinged the other way round, so it could turn its nose up when it landed on the ground. But the kind of European integration we don't, any of us seem to mind, is town twinning. Everybody wants a French, you know, town to twin with. And I didn't know how it happened, actually, until I recently went to Swindon. met a bloke from Swindon Council. He told me that apparently it's very like getting a teenage pen pal, on the basis that Swindon was getting on very well with Monte Carlo until they sent them a photograph and never heard from them again.
Very good, very good. Well done to you. Give him a round of applause. It is a head-to-head. Al, on the topic of Europe?
Well, of course, what's happened here is the French. The French have voted against Europe and now expect us to cough up for it. It's the classic example of the French attitude. They've lost the plot, basically, completely. I mean, these are people with a town called Brest, and none of them think it's funny. In any other country, a melted cheese would be regarded as a f***up, wouldn't it? They're up to something, aren't they? No, they're up. Well, I'm not done yet. Staying over there with their own customs. The point is, I think... I mean, that Eiffel Tower's a tragic waste of Meccano, isn't it? As a result, French boys have nothing to play with except themselves, and that's how it started, isn't it?
Al, thank you very much. Al Murray, give him a round of applause. Tough to say, I'm giving it to Hugh, I'm giving it that side. Sit down, both of you.
The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they could let go and make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. You have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference and still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a Three Cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. 3 cheers for Jackie! Hip, hip! What if everyone goes, no? Not 3 cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip, hip, shut up.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those. My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, what can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door. And the vet said, muzzle him. I said, I don't know, but he's got a beard. I went round to see my nan. I said, what you been up to? She said, weed in the garden. I said, well, at least you didn't shit in it. I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing, and my girlfriend said, do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her, which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
Thank you very much. Well done, Davey. Point there for Davey. Come on.
Now, we play a round called The End is Nigel. This game involves Olga Koch and Nigel Ung. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is nationality. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll take it.
Olga.
Hell yeah! Hi. Nationality is a very big topic for me because I'm originally from Russia and I need to start every set like that because I know that they're listening. I have a very Russian name. My name is Olga. Olga is the most common name in Russia. It is, of course, Old Slavic for I wish you were a boy. My last name is K-O-C-H. It's meant to be pronounced Koch, but if you're living in an English-speaking country, 8 out of 10 times I am Olga Koch. I ran for student government of my high school under the slogan, I want me some cock. And I won. Also, I don't know if you know this, but in Russia, we don't have middle names, we have patronyms. So instead of another name, I have my father's name. So if you look into my passport, it literally says Olga Alfred's cock. So I never forget where I come from. I was born in 1992, shortly after Russia elected its first ever president, which started a very long history of Russian people electing presidents all over the world.
Thank you very much. Olga. That leaves us with Nigel. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. Now, the topic is food and drink. Where you go?
I'm foreign too. Yeah, I got the immigrants to do it. It's cheaper, you know? I'm from Malaysia originally, and I moved to the UK 4 years ago, mainly for comedy, and so I can drink tap water and not shit myself. Yeah. Favorite part of your country, by the way? Pretty great here, right? Tap water? Yeah. Ironing my shirt today, got a little bit thirsty, just spray some ironing water straight into my mouth. No malaria, nice. When I first moved here, I asked the guy here, like, what's the worst thing you have in your UK tap water? You know what he told me? Lime scale. Well, what the hell is lime scale? Does it give you a headache? Does it make you vomit? He said, no, it just makes the inside of your kettle a little bit white. Life must be so hard for you. With your kettle discoloration problems. I love scale. I eat all the scale now, all right? I'm gonna go home and lick my teapot later. Even when we take the trains here, even the train toilets tell you the tap water in there is not drinkable, right? I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. And turns out they're right. Set myself in the real replacement bus service.
Well done. Very good. Points there for Olga. Or either of them. Come on, come back. Thank you. Okay, here we go. The first subject is extracts from DVDs that would never sell.
Welcome to exercise for manic depressives. Down, up,
Welcome to this How to Use a DVD instruction DVD. First, put this DVD in the slot for the DVD.
Steven Spielberg, circumcision. The director's cut.
Welcome to the suffragette story with me, Miley Cyrus.
Ready to get fit, ladies? It's Johnny Depp, Pilates of the Caribbean.
The main point of this self-help DVD is that only you can help you. No need for me, then? Thanks for the 20 quid.
Hello, welcome to Funeral Etiquette. When's the right time to fart?
We are in Africa filming the continent's biggest predator, Madonna in Malawi.
Welcome to the best of German. Who do you think you are? So, your grandfather was a... OK, we'll leave it there.
Welcome to the best of Test Match Special. That one works? That really helps.
This is the DVD you've been waiting for. All the tweets of Alan Sugar read out loud by Stephen Hawking.
Welcome to Filthy Dirty Nurses 2, the rise of MRSA.
Hello, I'm Ed Byrne. Welcome to Wank Yourself Skinny.
Work yourself thin with me, teen sensation Stuart Francis.
It's the DVD we've all been waiting for. Two politicians discussing Rwanda.
And it's relationships.
Right, relationships. It's good to be here. Last time I was here, a girl asked me for sex. I had to disappoint her. We had sex. But I'm trying to learn to be a more sensitive lover. I got a DVD, How to Improve Your Foreplay Technique. It was really good. I had to fast forward through the boring bit at the beginning. Last night I had beef stew with dumplings. I shouldn't call her that, but she's a big girl. I went to see the stalactites at Cheddar Gorge, and our guide asked us not to try and crack one off, and she wasn't even that attractive. I still managed. It was very dark. This morning I went to a meeting of my premature ejaculators support group, but it turns out it's tomorrow. I think a few of the men started clapping before the end of that joke, by the way. My girlfriend's dog died, so to cheer her up, I got her an identical one. She was livid. What am I going to do with two dead dogs? A friend of mine had a penis extension. Now his house looks really stupid.
And the topic is family.
Family. Okay. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. I told her she'll grow into it. I remember one time my uncle asked me to spell Schadenfreude and I couldn't, but he's dead now and I'm not, so I win. cousin always introduces himself as Stephen with a PH, and that's because he's slightly acidic. My married friends would always tell me there's someone out there for everyone, and I'd think, wow, she must be a right slag. Knock, knock, who's there? Grandad, shit, stop the funeral. Grandad asked me how to print on his new computer. I said, just Control P. He said, I haven't been able to do that for years. My confirmed bachelor uncle always describes himself as asexual, but I'd also add B, gay. As a child, I was always told that if I touched myself down there, God was watching, but it turned out it was just Uncle Peter.
The topic is celebrity.
Celebrity. They've started a celebrity magazine for the elderly. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello. Uri Geller, surprisingly hard to stab. Malcolm X chose that name rather than admit he'd accidentally put a kiss at the end of a text message. I went to see Walt Disney on Ice. Bit disappointing, it's just an old bloke in a freezer. The new president of France said this week that English speakers were arrogant in their refusal to learn foreign languages. At least I think that's what he said. But it all just sounded like haw-hee-haw, haw-hee-haw. And remember, that's not racist if it's about the French. I'd have £5 on the Dalai Lama if I was a Tibetan man. When they buried the man who invented Tetris, the whole cemetery disappeared. As well as 7 years in prison here, Abu Hamza could be deported to the United States where he could face the electric chair. But on the plus side, if he is electrocuted, at least he can just stick his hook in the air and pretend to be a bumper car.
And relationships.
Sorry. That does actually look like me and my girlfriend. Apparently, in Norfolk, the marriage guidance service is called Related. My girlfriend says I'm not very romantic. The other day we were kissing on the sofa. She said, how about we take this into the bedroom? I said, OK, you get the other end. When she suggested we try playing doctors and nurses, I was really hoping for something sexier than being left in a corridor for 2 days. My girlfriend and I are trying for a baby. Her mom's agreed to help out, just till I get hard. She's going to see that on telly as well. That's terrible. They always say you'll find the love of your life when you're not really looking, which was true, but by then I'd run her over. I've been trying to persuade my girlfriend to sexually stimulate me with her keyring, but she just keeps fobbing me off, so... When I heard you could now be a sperm donor by post, I came in a jiffy. I went to a swingers club. The doorman goes, it's £15 to get in, or you can pay £20. That includes a meal. I paid £20. I went in. This oiled, naked guy comes up to me and goes, hello, my name's Emil. I once had a one-night stand and I didn't get an erection. That isn't cool. Luckily, the woman I was with was really understanding, and she just said, don't worry, that used to happen to me. Thank you.
And the topic is education.
One time at school, I lost my thesaurus. You know, I couldn't find the words to describe how upset I was. I remember sitting in psychology class, learning about Pavlov, thinking, no stupid dogs. And then the bell went and we all had lunch. I'm sitting at home, this guy knocks on my door. Have you ever considered an alternative energy supplier? I'm like, no, I'm quite happy with food. It's got to be a tough job going around door to door encouraging people to photosynthesize. I can give you the leading cause of anaphylactic shock in a nutshell. I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. My nan recently claimed that she once gave a hand job to Albert Einstein. What a stroke of genius. Technically, shoplifting from the Apple store only counts as scrumping. Sex education lessons at our school were pretty weird. The teacher made us shout out rude words to get out of our system, like bum, willy, cocks, and we had to carry on doing that until he came.
Topic is childhood.
As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. My 6-year-old refuses to eat anything other than alphabetti spaghetti. Luckily, he's dyslexic, so I just buy him normal spaghetti. Seems to work. Dad, these are all L's. Yeah, it's Welsh. I bought him some medicine for his ADHD. On the side of the bottle, it said concentrate. I thought if he could do that... I bought a really nice 12-year-old Scotch. Obviously, his parents weren't pleased. I hate people who complain about breastfeeding in public. Like, I don't want to see it, or that's disgusting, or you can't do that, you're not a woman. And that's not a baby. As kids, we always enjoyed dipping ginger nuts into a steaming hot cup of tea. But, of course, nowadays, that's called bullying. I shouldn't do that, by the way. Ginger jokes are the last vestiges of racism in comedy, and they started a ginger pride movement to stamp that shit out. They had a march in Hyde Park. Well, they were going to when the sun came out. Nan always said that when she was young, she never had to worry about leaving her back door open. What a slag. I'm totally going to get in trouble with the family again. This is really not worth it. You got to look after your health as you get older. The other day I did a poo and noticed there was a little blood in it. I said, "Oi, bruv, get out my toilet, innit?"
And subject is relationships.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I used to suffer from premature ejaculation, which made me feel selfish and bad for my girlfriend. Then she suggested I try this special cream that reduces your sensitivity. And it really worked, because now I don't give a shit about her. I bought a vegan friend of mine a fancy cookbook. Unfortunately, he said he couldn't accept it as it was leather-bound, which meant it was too heavy for him to lift. When I was a teenager, my mom always said, "Your bedroom's so messy, you'll never get any self-respecting girl to come back here." But luckily, they weren't the ones I was going after. I watched the director's cut of a porn film. At the end, he actually fixes the washing machine. I was in a sex shop. I saw a dildo described as 9 inches long and realistic. I thought, well, which is it? The Archbishop of Canterbury recently said he couldn't support gay marriage without first having a mandate. Honestly, if he's that bothered, I'll go out with him. One time at a party, I chucked my car keys into a big bowl, and everyone just stared at me, and the trifle was ruined. I was watching a really weird porno the other day that was just a fat man crying and wanking at the same time. And then I realised I hadn't turned the telly on. Thank you.
And the topic is shopping. Away you go.
I bought a slimming magazine in W.H. Smith's. I didn't read it, I just wanted a big bar of Galaxy for £1. I bought some fancy pens at a nudist art shop. Felt tips? No, but I touched a couple of bollocks. I was in a lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I went to buy a Christmas tree. The guy said, you're going to put it up yourself? I said, no, I was thinking the living room. Bought a chameleon, lost it. Why is it that when women go to the toilet in pairs, no one minds, but when I did it, I got thrown out the greengrocers? I got into a fight with my acupuncturist and stabbed him. He said he'd never felt better. According to the vet, my cat's in heat. I didn't even know she was famous. A friend of mine keeps going on and on about how good his orthopaedic shoe is, but I think he's built it up too much. I bought an advent calendar for Jehovah's Witnesses, but on every door somebody tells you to fuck off.
The topic is health.
The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that kind of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. I was thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments during the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. Chair of Dyslexic Society was recently given an OBE. He said, what's the point? I can't play the bloody thing. I live next door to a family of anorexic agoraphobics. Yeah, but they've got a few skeletons in the closet. A friend of mine's been suffering from paranoid delusions and now he thinks he's a chocolate orange. I worry he's going to be sectioned. Poor Terry. I thought PPI was just something you could get if you didn't wear goggles at the swimming baths. I bought an alcoholic ginger beer. He wasn't pleased. I once met a girl who confused a tube of KY jelly with super glue. I asked how it happened, but sadly her lips were sealed.
And subject is transport. Where you go, Gary?
I had a nightmare on the journey over here, and luckily that woke me up just before I ran over a small child. The other day I lost control at a roundabout, and then I went absolutely bonkers on the swings. I stopped in a lay-by, there was a sign saying no dumping. That was all right, I was just having a wee. I joined a breakdown service for Scousers. It's called the AA. Calm down, calm down. If they can't fix your car in an hour, they'll nick you a new one. The Paralympics taught us all that sometimes we should stop and put ourselves in the place of people with disabilities, and I have to say, those parking spaces are brilliant. In the car on the way over here, I kept hearing this annoying, whiny noise. So I pulled over, my girlfriend got out to have a look at the engine, and I drove off. The other night, I saw a couple weaving all over the street. I said, honestly, get a loom. I accidentally filled the Escort with diesel. She died.
The topic is nationalities. Where you go?
My next-door neighbour's really loud and obnoxious, so now I know how Canada feels. I bought some lamb chops. On the packet, it said reared in Wales. I thought that was just a racist stereotype. This morning, I made a Belgian waffle. In the afternoon, I made a Frenchman talk bollocks. In Scotland, the forbidden fruit is fruit. When England played Poland at Wembley, there was 30,000 Polish fans in the crowd, and I thought, well, fair play to them. If I'd built it, I'd want to have a look round as well. I like to annoy my Israeli flatmate by giving him any post that's just addressed to the occupier. I was at an Italian zoo with a Christian friend of mine, so I thought, when in Rome, and pushed him into the lions. Nan's going to that suicide clinic in Switzerland, but don't tell her, it's a surprise. My granddad was killed by a Zulu. He was having a shit at Whipsnade and the roof collapsed.
And the topic is childhood.
I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. And apparently, at the moment, she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. They love that. Every Christmas Day, we'd always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call them, relatives sleeping in the spare room. Winnie the Pooh, possibly the most vindictive chapter in Nelson Mandela's autobiography. It was only after I shot the 5th zombie that I started to wonder why they were all carrying bags of sweets and ringing my doorbell. I've been trying to recapture my lost youth. I really must get that cellar door fixed. One time when I was a kid, I bought a chocolate bar. On the inside of the wrapper, it said, "You're a loser." I wouldn't mind if there'd been some sort of competition on. To make things worse, it was a boost. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have Nana buried or cremated, so in the end, we let her live. My 13-year-old cousin's already started taking heroin. It's amazing, isn't it? They shoot up so fast these days.
OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, "It's an emergency. Can you send somebody round?" And they said, "Yes, we can. We got loads of those." My grief counsellor died recently, but luckily he was so good I didn't give a shit. I accidentally kicked the dog earlier and he bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said no. If anything, he's even more angry. I asked the vet, "What can I do? I think my dog's racist. He keeps barking at the Asian man next door." And the vet said, "Muzzle him." I said, "I don't know, but he's got a beard." I went round to see my nan. I said, "What you been up to?" She said, "Weed in the garden." I said, "Well, at least you didn't shit in it." I was in the garden with my girlfriend earlier, and we saw the 18-year-old girl next door, all dolled up, ready to go out clubbing. And my girlfriend said, "Do you know what? At that age, I could really see myself in her." Which was weird, because I was thinking the exact same.
OK, the topic is work.
I nearly lost my job as a roofer when I was caught masturbating on the first day. Yeah, luckily, my boss said I could wipe the slate clean. I used to work at Waterstones. One day, a guy came in asking if we had any audiobooks with subtitles. I thought, hang on, that's a book. The circus near me held a competition to find the best contortionist, so I entered myself and won. In my old job, I just used to punch buttons all day, and that's why I'm no longer allowed to work in panto. I've got 2 lawyers working for me at the minute. One's pro bono, and the other thinks he's a right pretentious twat. When my granddad was caught trying to stow away in the Merchant Navy, he offered to work his passage, which, as you can imagine, made him very popular. I hate people who phone me up just to complain about the weather, which is why I lost my job at Mountain Rescue. I was at a station the other day that had a piano on the platform, so I had a little tinkle on it, which saved me 30 pence. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. I bought a Microsoft Advent calendar. If you open too many windows at once, they all shut again for no bloody reason.
The topic is technology. OK, where you go?
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously, they don't know that yet. The hardest part of making skimmed milk must be throwing the cows across the lake. The guy next to me at work used to watch porn all day. I'm just glad he didn't begin to rub off on me. I think if I was to try revenge porn, I'd just post naked pictures of myself online so everybody would know how low my ex's standards were. When answering the security question, place of birth, apparently vagina is not an acceptable answer. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. I've currently got a stalker, but you probably can't tell in these trousers. A friend of mine was killed by the big sea. He was walking past Curry's and a sign fell on his head. I was watching TV and the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it.
And the topic is relationships.
The other day, a woman described me as a bit of a looker. Well, voyeur was the actual word that she used. I used to go out with a parachutist with IBS, but she shat on me from a great height. One time I nearly had a threesome with my girlfriend and my best friend, and the only thing that stopped it happening was they didn't invite me. My girlfriend said she wanted to try some new condoms with something special inside to boost her pleasure. I said, oh, what's that? She said, other men. Our 4th child was called Ivy, and that's because we ran out of names and started using Roman numerals. My last girlfriend was always trying to put me down, which is just one of the hazards of going out with a vet. I tried reading a book on premature ejaculation, but I couldn't get past the opening passage. This Christmas, I'm taking the whole family to Lapland, which is great, because normally those clubs don't let kids in. I always worry when a woman sees me naked for the first time that she's just going to scream and run out the park. My girlfriend and I love watching box sets. We got 3 episodes into Orange is the New Black before finding out it wasn't about what would happen if Trump replaced Obama.
And the topic is health. Gary.
The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. I like to judge my weight by my BMI. As long as I weigh less than a small plane, I think it's fine. When writing a story about losing your virginity, it's important to always put it in the first person. When people die and head towards the light, what they don't realise is they've already been reincarnated as a moth. I can count the number of chainsaw accidents I've had on the fingers of one hand. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. So the other day, I was doing the hoovering in my pants, and I thought to myself, how do my bollocks get this dusty? I've been attending Gamblers Anonymous for 3 years, whereas my best mate Dave, he only stuck it out for 2.5, so I won that one. I like to think I'm a bit like Superman. For example, the other day I changed in a phone box from a man who really needs a wee to a man who's just had a wee. I pulled a sickie the other day, just one of the perks of working at the hospital. The other day, my girlfriend and I had great makeup sex. Well, I say that, she was out and I stuck her lipstick up my arse. Because I'm worth it.
And the topic is animals.
I don't like to eat anything labelled reformed ham, as I think it's unfair that the pigs are slaughtered after they've got their lives back on track. Last night I had to get towed home because Ratty and Moley were too pissed. Whenever I see ginger people going grey, I'm always reminded of the sad plight of our native squirrels. I went round Grandad's to walk his dog. As I was leaving the house, he said, don't forget poo bags. I was like, all right, Gran. Here goes well. My girlfriend's a cat person. She's got fishy breath, shits in a tray and disappears for days at a time. I tried swimming with dolphins once, but I didn't like it as I found them very clicky. Dolphins who die without any money are given a pauper's funeral. The other day I was chewing on some monkey nuts and now I'm banned from the zoo. Doctor, I'm addicted to screwing dogs. Have you tried patches? What's he, a poodle? I went to the zoo to watch the monkeys wanking. Then I went to watch the crocodiles and I was still wanking.
Thank you very much, Lady. Discarded titles for the next Harry Potter book.
Harry Potter is thrown in jail for wearing a hood.
Harry Potter and the Wet Dream.
Captain Corelli's mandolin.
Harry Potter and the Mudblood Prince in a Nazi uniform.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce.
Harry Potter does Dallas. Red hot muggle on muggle action.
Harry Potter and the child actor's inevitable mental breakdown.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Abu Ghraib.
Harry Potter and the two other kids who can't act.
Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots who give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 string. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp, and suddenly, where with him, I couldn't believe it. I opened up my frazzles, there he was!
Russell Howard.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Hal, which category would you like?
I would like world news, please.
OK, your category is world news. The answer is 24 hours. What is the question?
Is this what Jeremy Corbyn wants the voting age to be reduced to?
Is it, in his dreams, how long would each of Dara's science specials last? We love the science.
I feel there's a lot that we can all learn.
Is it... How long does every minute feel like if you're Melania Trump?
Is it how long did it take me to actually find the exit once I'd bought my tea lights in IKEA?
Is it how long till Julian Assange makes another vertical scratch on the wall of his embassy bedroom?
Is it how long is the time between my mum's 2-part text messages?
Is it how long do you have to come up with evidence before the DA busts your ass?
Is this from the new action movie, Strangely English Cop?
Bust your ass! Chief, I'm terribly sorry to hear your ass is in a sling.
We'll have to take that straight to the Lord Mayor.
How long was Jeremy Corbyn awake at Glastonbury after taking what he thought was an aspirin?
Does anyone know the correct answer?
The correct answer is...
Yes?
How much warning, apparently, are we going to get before Donald Trump comes on a visit to the UK?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Hugh. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a property show.
6 months in, and Mike has fallen out with the builder. There was no window there, and neither of them noticed.
With violence and strong language from the very beginning, it's a place in the Sunderland.
Yes, it is north-facing, but on the plus side, it's a caravan, so you can just turn it round.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. You should never leave a place in the sun.
We've just 1 hour while Gina's at the shops to improve her flat in Luton. We're setting it on fire and moving it to Oxford.
Well, it's another setback. This time the structure is damaged. And for the first time, I'm asking myself, will the Death Star ever be finished?
And more information on how to get together a deposit for a house can be found in our free leaflet, When Will Nana Die?
So, you bought it at auction for £100,000, but what exactly are you going to do with Middlesbrough?
Well, what we've done is we've knocked the wall between the kitchen and the lounge down, and what that's done is killed all the people who were sitting in the lounge.
The kitchen's done in a very modern style. We call it crack den.
We're looking at a well-equipped council house in Hull. Fridge, oven, washing machine. In fact, this is one of the nicest gardens we've seen.
This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification.
Three coats of varnish and a new rug, and Brucey is ready for his next show.
Welcome to the 74-hour-long obsessive-compulsive episode of How Clean Is Your House?
Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
Now we've an exciting new round called Ask the Panel, which ordinary members of ask a question about something in the news this week. Can we have our first question, please? Who wants to come with a question? That gentleman there, please.
Do any of you smoke, and if so, how have you been dealing with the smoking ban?
No, very easily.
I don't smoke, but apparently the big problem with the smoking ban is BO in nightclubs. And I've thought it through, just put Nicorette patches under both armpits. 2 birds, 1 stone. Also, if they need to put a new smell into nightclubs, you've got to select something that everyone likes. Bacon. Those are my ideas.
I did enjoy Charles Kennedy getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he obviously knew the dangers of smoking, not so aware of the dangers of sticking your head out of a train going at 125 miles an hour.
I thought Charles Kennedy probably wasn't even smoking. It's probably like just the alcohol in his breath spontaneously combusted. He's probably like a baby dragon at this stage.
I saw something that was great the other day. There was a bloke outside a pub and he had a cagoule on, right, and he was just absolutely slashing it down, just smoking like that, like a nicotine-obsessed condom. It's fantastic. You'd think he'd probably just quit at that stage.
That's a really good look for you, by the way.
Thanks so much.
Do more stuff like that.
Well, if most people did this, the world would be a happier place. Very difficult. It's very difficult to take something seriously.
Are you talking about...
I want a divorce.
I think you probably get it, actually.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear at Christmas.
I'm afraid Grandad's dead. He fell into a bowl of Christmas cake mix. Sounds unlikely, but you see under the surface, very strong currents.
It's time to drain the 25th vegetable in our advent colander.
Bad news, son. Santa's just sent a text. Apparently, he won't be able to make it until after the sales have started.
Your mother has always wanted to be somewhere hot for Christmas, so I've changed her to the Arga.
Santa's deliveries were much quicker this year because he didn't have to deliver to the naughty children of Tottenham and Croydon.
Oh, this is embarrassing, dear. The smaller set of underwear is actually for my secretary.
I'm afraid Santa wasn't able to bring you a toy train, so he's brought you a toy replacement bus service.
Mum, these are just flattened pieces of cardboard. This is just an Xbox.
No. The Wii is yours, darling. It's not Granny's.
No, Grandad, you kiss under the mistletoe, not the camel toe.
I haven't got you a present, Grandma, because Daddy promised you'd be dead.
Either we've been burgled or all Dad's got us for Christmas is a big poo in the middle of the carpet.
Now I got the Christmas presents early this year. I looted them in August.
We play a round called Colonel Gagaffey. This game involves Holly, Stuart, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is international relations. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, the new head of the Tamil Tigers, he's been arrested by Sri Lanka. Now, I always think the Tamil Tigers, they don't really sound like a terrorist group, do they? I always think they sound more like a rugby league team. It seems that even the terrorists are resorting to marketing techniques to try and get more members. Are we soon going to have the Al-Qaeda Rhinos? Will it be the Israeli Broncos against the Hamas Cowboys? Maybe it's not even the real IRA. Maybe it's Real IRA.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is dating. Who wants to come in on that? Holly.
My favourite way of meeting people at the moment is this thing called Close Encounters, or I Seek You. You might have seen this. It's the people who text into the free newspapers. And they go things like, I was the girl in the grey jacket. You were the guy reading the book on the train. Call me. Have you seen these? I saw one the other day that said, I was the guy in the skin-tight orange vest top. You were the girl pointing and laughing. Call me. I was the guy in the tweed jumpsuit. You were any woman. Call me. My friend works for the only newspaper in Guernsey, and she said they tried to run one of those I Seek You columns, but they had to drop it after a week, because it was like, oh, it's the guy in the white apron, and everyone's reading it going, oh, that'll be Dave. There's only 7 people on this island, you stalker.
Thank you very much, Holly. OK, that leaves it with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is the Consumer Society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, why not try a guilt-free wrap? You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest things in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, ooh, yawn rape, and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape, and now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, it's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it? And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, Stuart, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is health.
Oh, that was a long walk. OK, health. Money-wise, I'm set for life, provided I die next Tuesday. Ladies, I wasn't circumcised, I was circumnavigated. Just because I have arthritis doesn't mean I can't live a normal whole. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic, but you know what they say. Unfortunately for agoraphobics, the cure is just around the corner. My manic-depressive buddy was attacked by a bipolar bear. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that. My neighbor's in the Guinness Book of Records. He's had 43 concussions. He lives very close. In fact, just a stone's throw away. But the point. To your health, my friends.
At the end of that round, the points go to Stuart and Holly. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Alistair, what category would you like?
I'll go for sport, please.
OK, Grant, your category is sport. The answer is 56 years. What is the question?
Well, is it Eddie Izzard's next challenge for Sport Relief? I'm going to run for 56 years without stopping. In 3 languages, we're the family of chinchillas.
Is it when somebody says they're 13 online, how old are they actually?
Is it when is the next train to Morden via Bank?
Is this how old Dara will look when he's 45?
Oh,
it's just a jest.
She's 45 12 years ago.
Is it how long have BT been telling me my call is important to them?
Is it what is the age difference between the male and female presenters on Sky Sports News?
Is it how long is part 2 of The Hobbit?
How long does 56-year Ron Sale-Wood stain last for?
I don't know about you guys, but this is the age of consent for my daughters.
Is it at the time of the Big Bang? How long had Bruce Forsyth already been alive?
Is it how long you could travel in space with the right oxygen supply and just Dara O'Brien for company?
OK. We'd both be very happy, thank you very much.
Is it, how long is the gap between each edition of the monthly magazine I'm No Good at Maths?
Is it pick an arbitrary length of time?
Is it how much bad luck if you break a glitter ball?
Proper joke. And you know what 56
Is it the gap between Tokyo Olympics?
It is absolutely the gap between different Tokyo Olympics. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
Michael, Peter, David, Vladimir, I think we may have a spy in the organisation.
Give me the Pentagon, then the triangle, and then the square.
Pussy galore, Bond here. I've been told by my doctor that I need to contact all previous partners.
The owner of this motel dresses up as his mother and stabs people. But the guidebook says it's still better than the Ibis.
I want you to go to Warsaw, meet a man called Borislav. You'll then ask him why he didn't fix my plumbing before he left for home.
Miss Scarlett looked at him through the window. He had one massive testicle like a space hopper. That was why they called him Professor Plum.
This is no ordinary pen, Bond. Turn it upside down, the woman's clothes drop off and you can see it tense.
Red or green, which do I cut? Come on, they're only peppers. How long is this salad going to take?
We need to find the third man. There's no way Amanda Holden will shag just 2 of us.
Here's Simon.
The Orient Express has been cancelled. However, there was a murder on the temporary Orient replacement bus.
I have amnesia. The tattoos on my body will tell me what happened. Dara was here.
I'd been a serial killer for 4 years, but they'd never given me a nickname. Then, you bite one guy in the ass, and suddenly you're the butt muncher.
Ah, the butt muncher's got me! The butt muncher's got me!
We forget about Cameron is he presents this blokish image, but he's just unbelievably posh. He's pretending he's going to sort the banks out. He is the same people as the banks. They're the same people. The only reason he'd get tough with a banker would be if it was someone who farted on his head at school.
It is the thing I found with Cameron, because Cameron, it's one of the easiest gigs in the world, because all he has to do is shut up, and because Brown is clearly on his way out, so all Cameron has to do, basically, to get elected is not answer any questions.
But he hasn't,
and all he does is, people say, well, what do you do? And he say, well, I'll tell you what we won't do. I'll tell you what we won't do. That's everything. And this is the job interview. How irritating does that get in a job interview if somebody just, like, if you had a guy around to your house, a builder, to fix a hole in the roof, and you said, well, there's a hole, what do you do? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't fix that with cheese. That's what I won't do. If you were interviewing a nanny, how irritating would that be if you said to a nanny, well, what would you do with that child? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't tie the child to a wall and go in the piss with my mates. I won't do that.
My favourite guy in the shadow cabinet is, the only one who's ever said anything, is Andrew Lansley, who came out, he's the Shadow Health Secretary, and he said people should enjoy the credit crunch because it'll allow them to spend more time with their families because they'll be unemployed. Other benefits include increased upper body strength from having to climb out of a skip every morning and improved agility from chasing rats about with a fork. Where's this guy? Does he go up to blind people and congratulate them on how much money they're saving on wallpaper?
Are the Conservatives living on the right planet? All this idea about confiscating mobile phones and bikes. How about confiscating knives and guns? What's the worst you can do with a bike and a phone? A ride by texting.
Even if we got teenagers' mobile phones, we wouldn't even be able to understand what they're texting to each other. It'd be like a Clockwork Orange or something. Are you slipping my Grubel, Terry? I should fro-fo.
I think what the text will end up saying over the coming months is, you're not going to believe this, Dave, a Tory politician has just tried to mug me for my phone.
I now have his phone. Ha, 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 ha. LOL, epic fail.
They're doing it, this is the funniest thing, they're doing it to stop graffiti. Now, some graffiti's amazing, isn't it? I was driving along the other day, there was a big sign that said stop, and underneath somebody had written hammer time. Now, you do not confiscate someone's phone if they don't do that.
I'm all for confiscating bikes, though, because I've only ever been beaten up once in my life, and it was by kids on bikes when I was 10. And it was when I learnt a very, very valuable lesson in life. I was playing cricket in a local park, right, and these kids on bikes came swooping down the hill, and they nicked the stumps that we were playing with, right? And this was where I learnt my valuable lesson, which was, don't try and do voices. Because instead of saying to these kids, excuse me, can you give me my stump back? What I actually said to them, and I've no idea to this day why I said it, I said, excuse me, would you mind handing me back my stumps? And what they did was they beat me round the head with the stump.
You got them back,
Wait a minute, Hugh. This taught you not to do voices. You've done every third voiceover I've ever heard. You're the voice of Findus Crispy Pancakes.
They're amazing, though. Those moments you look back in your youth when you go, why did I say it? I used to get bullied because I've got a lazy eye, still quite bad. And kids are really cruel. Look at him, he's obsessed with his nose. Who said that? I used to cry. I looked like a Picasso in the rain. And I did that thing. I went to my dad for advice. Like, Dad, I need help. And my dad goes, say this to the bullies and they'll bully you no more. Picture me, age 10. It's nearly as embarrassing as your story. Age 10 going, bullies, how can my eye be lazy when it wanders around so freely? Yeah.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject
is unlikely complaints to TV channels.
Dear Jim will fix it. Why aren't you replying to me letters?
Dear Living TV, stop breathing on me, you're freaking me out.
Dear BBC, I find it extremely offensive that after each scene we'd like to see, the host, Dara O'Brien, appears to emit a loud fart.
Dear BBC, why have you given Andy Parsons that ridiculous wig this week?
Dear BBC, I recently saw something on the Antiques Roadshow I would like to purchase. How much is Fiona Bruce?
Dear Dragon's Den, I have lost my keys, and for that reason, I'm out.
Dear ITV, I just watched Loose Women in High Definition. Please remove this option.
Dear Babe Station, sorry for the scrawl, I'm having to write this with my left hand.
Dear Babe Station, I've watched your channel for 10 hours now, and I've yet to see a film about a pig working as a sheepdog. However, I shall persevere.
Dear Channel 5, I have watched Celebrity Big Brother. I think it should be renamed Big Brother.
Dear BBC, why don't you get Irish comedian Ed Byrne to do a documentary about ladies' pants?
Dear Dave, have you seen Phil? Yours, Bob.
Dear Embarrassing Bodies, I'm a man trapped inside a woman's body. I got mixed up between superglue and lube.
Dear Dave Jarvu, have you seen Phil Jarvu? Yours, Bob Jarvu.
Dear BBC, where can I get one of those blurred number plates you always see on television?
Dear Embarrassing Bodies, I think there may be something wrong with my penis. I've enclosed it in an envelope. You can...
Dear BBC, why have you changed the name of Snog, Marry, Avoid to Three Men in a Boat?
The issue with him is because he's currently being sued over Trump University, which I looked into this, and it's a place where people can go to become asset managers, wealth creators or estate agents. So it's essentially Hogwarts for arseholes.
Imagine. I mean, it costs people loads of money to go there, and that's why he's being sued, isn't it? But imagine a university that charges you thousands of pounds to study there. We would never have a system like that.
Graduating from Trump University and then suing Trump University is the only way you can make any money from Trump University.
It would be funny if the graduation involved you suing them and they went, congratulations. You're one of the clever ones. You've learned that this is entirely a scam.
And he keeps going on about building a wall. But, like, the idea that he wants the Mexicans to build the wall and pay for the wall, they should take him up on that and then just put a door in it.
I tell you what they should do. Do you remember
handle on their side.
Do you remember the BBC One Saturday night show, Hole in the Wall? How much better if they built the wall between America and Mexico, but there was all shapes like that. And Dale Winton stood on the border. I'd watch it.
Or that wall in Total Wipeout that used to have, like, punching hands. That was a great... Like, 4,000 miles
They could just have those 4 balls.
Oh, my God, if they made... With all Central European, like, and you got into the country if you managed to actually get to the end. But you had to stop by standing up and going,
I think the big advantage of him being elected president is finally we'd be able to laugh at Americans for reasons they'd understand.
Now we play a round called Wheel O News. This game involves Ed, Andy, Frankie and Joe, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge. Our random news generator contains a bank of topics. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest material. OK, here we go. Let's have the first topic, please. And the first topic is that bullying? Who wants to come in on bullying? Ed.
I'll take bullying. Bullying, serious problem. Obviously, there's a lot of problems in the world, but it's OK, because wristbands are sorting them all out. Them ribbons were useless, but the wristband was on the case to save the day. But my favourite wristband is the anti-bullying wristband, because footballers like Wayne Rooney, people like that wearing it, that kids were getting beaten up at school for their anti-bullying wristband. And that's just beautiful. I'm just so glad that never happened to me when I was at school, because I could imagine myself trying to reason with the bully as he beat me up for my anti-bullying wristband. Like, no, but that's my... Oh, the irony. You're only fooling yourself. You may take my wristband, but your actions will never mirror the sentiments it represents.
Well done, Ed. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
So, drugs. The Home Office have in fact clarified apparently how many spliffs you can have on your person before you might be regarded as a dealer. Apparently the answer is 500. That's a fair amount of personal use, isn't it? You would have thought you could have 500 almost anything on you and be regarded as a dealer. If I had 500 hobnobs on me, I think you could regard me as pushing biscuits. Not that I know that much about drugs, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently the current trend amongst young people is to have an upper followed straight away by a downer just to take the edge off it. Why not just take a bit less of the upper? That to me would be like having a Red Bull and then having a Horlicks straight away afterwards.
Well done, Andy. OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Joe. The next topic is... OK, living with terror. Who's going to come up on that?
Well, obviously that's how my husband describes our marriage, but how's the country been since the terrorist attacks here? Well, I mean, when I go out of London on tour, people are always saying to me, what's it like driving around London now? And I say, dunno, it's a bit hard to see out of my armoured personnel carrier. But, you know, I thought it was really important after all that happened to get sort of straight back on the tube and show solidarity with other Londoners. So 2 days later, went straight back on the tube, quite scared, got into the carriage, thought, oh, what's going to happen? But it was brilliant, actually. This bloke got up straight away and offered me his seat, which is fantastic, because I've never driven a tube train before.
Well done, Joe Brown.
I like the way that on that picture there, the dog's looking for something, the bloke's looking for something. It's on the top, the bloody idiots.
Frankie, let's see what topic you've been left with. Lucky you, it's the Labour Cabinet.
John Reid's got a stupid new idea. He wants to make criminals pay compensation to their victims. What if they've not got any money? And get a community service for them. Hey, I'm here to do your garden. Remember me? I murdered your husband. He's wanting to force through ID cards. Now, ID cards don't mean that your identity won't be stolen. It just means that once it's stolen, you're screwed. You know, I've left my wallet in the hotel. I'm going to need new eyeballs and a finger transplant.
Frankie Boyle. I think the points go to Frankie and Ed in that round. Come back. The next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
The dark stranger emerged from the sea, his wet shirt clinging against his muscular torso. Soon, she held him and said the words she'd been dying to say for ages. I'm UK Border Patrol and you're under arrest.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely rigid, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead.
He felt a swelling down there. Shouldn't have tried to bang a beehive.
He took her hand in his and squeezed it. Now, he thought, I wonder where the rest of her body is.
I want to role play. I'll be a prince from a mythical land, and you be your sister.
He cupped her breast and put her arse in a bowl. She was into really weird shit.
You could make love, she said. Or vole, he replied, looking up from their game of Scrabble.
She felt her bosom heaving as Mr. Darcy came ever closer. Blimey, he said. You don't get many of them to the pound.
He grabbed her hand, he held it tightly, and they skipped off through the fields of daffodils. And it was at that moment she thought he might be a little bit gay.
He looked at the tattoo of Chinese writing on her back. He didn't know what it meant, but he did know she'd put out on a first date.
Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Why? Why does it end like this? She said. Childhood accident, he replied. I crushed it in the trouser press.
The debutantes paraded in the ballroom in front of the rich landowners, and the Master of Ceremonies proudly proclaimed, "Let the Darcys fondle the arses."
Marjorie, I'm going to kiss you like you've never been kissed before.
Of course I've seen a black penis before, she said. Just never attached to a white man.
At the end of that round, the point's going to Ed, Catherine and Andy. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ellis, what category would you like?
Could I have home news, please?
Absolutely. Home news it is. The answer is 18 billion. What is the question?
Is it the amount of times I'll check my phone when I'm watching a friend's band?
Is it how many times happier is Jennifer Aniston than she was this time last week?
Yeah! Playing the long game, Aniston. Is it how many hours tutoring would Rob need to get into grammar school?
It's not very nice, is it?
You pass for 11, though. You have the kind of a...
Oh, yeah, I could do grammar school if I wanted, mate, but, you know, why knock about learning when you could just turn up and do this?
Is it how many fridge magnets can you put on a fridge before it topples over?
Is it how many times have I been told it's inappropriate to refer to myself as White Kanye? It's not, but I like it as a nickname.
I think there are two answers to this, Dara.
Yes.
It is, what is Google's annual income before tax? And what is Google's annual income after tax?
Yeah.
Is it the amount of times we've discussed Brexit on this show?
It was rather a big news story, Rob, to be fair.
I know, but keep going on about it. Can't we just do this and not talk about the news? Just for 1 week, just have a chat. And just see how we all are inside, because we've got problems. I've got stuff going on, mate. I can't be bothered with Europe. I can't even sort my own house out. The kitchen's falling apart. I've got people talking to me about tiles. I don't know what tiles I want. It's hard work. I've got gravel outside my house, and every time I come in, some comes in off my shoes. You can't hoover it, you can't sweep it, it's just always there, and now you go to Article 50. I don't give a fuck!
Do you get like this? Why not? Take momentum.
Is it how many virgins watch Robot Wars?
OK, I know this.
Attack him, Carbide! The correct answer is... How much Monopoly money was I fined for swallowing the tiny silver dog?
It's actually to do with the nuclear power station at Hinkley Point, isn't it?
Yes, and what?
It is how many fingers will the average child have if they're born near Hinkley Point?
It's so close.
It's in Somerset, mate. It's going to make very little difference.
A lot of oohs tonight.
Yeah,
That's not fair. This power plant is going to bring Somerset into the 20th century, mate. You watch.
The full answer is how much will it cost to build the new nuclear reactor Hinkley C in Somerset?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, you dad. Topic is unlikely things to hear at a party conference.
Yes, I'm a millionaire. Yes, I went to Eton. But I really feel I can relate to the rest of you scum.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel. We both repeat the same old shit over and over again.
Would Nick Clegg please come to Lost Property, where his missing spine has been handed in?
Am I to the left? Am I to the right? I'll be honest. It depends which trousers I'm wearing.
So that concludes the conference. One more question. Would anyone like to buy a 40-foot sign with the word Conservatives written on it?
I'd avoid the hotel bar. Anne Widdecombe's in there reading 50 Shades of Grey.
It has just been unacceptable cut after unacceptable cut. Why can't Boris Johnson find a proper hairdresser?
Welcome to the UKIP conference, the first conference to be held here in Islamabad.
Education, education, education. Can someone fix my auto cue, please?
Politicians, ready! Gladiators, ready!
Let's get drunk and join the Euro.
This government say they're phasing out Roman numerals. Not on my watch.
There have never been enough women in this party, and that is why, from this afternoon, you can call me Stephanie.
Our strategy for this Labour conference is embrace the geek and not, as I said earlier, release the gimp.
Here in support of Testicular Cancer Awareness Week, it's Shadow Chancellor Ed Ball.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have swallowed so much semen this weekend.
My name's Dave, like the TV channel, and I repeat the same old shit over and over again.
There you go. At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
Is it British Games Much Crapper?
Is it Bottled Gas Meets Cigarette?
I know this one, actually. It's Barry George, Merry Christmas.
Is it Badger's Grenade Mouse Compound?
That's a very large mouse compound, isn't it? I didn't know the mice were capable of that, and it's all gone to nothing because of the badger's attack.
I didn't know the Badgers were capable of that. That's appalling. They grenaded it,
The
for
thing
God's
is,
sake. This is an escalation.
The thing is, Dara, you anger a badger, it will do anything. I saw a pensioner punch a badger in the face. Within seconds, no skin.
I understand that, but I mean, the badger going and sourcing grenades is the bit I find particularly
I'll be honest with you, it was a joke. I'm now being held accountable for
I'm
something.
going to get this straight. You anger a badger to make it do anything? Because for years I've been playing them Barry White. And...
We once had a badger run over outside the house.
You had him run over?
No,
What
no,
kind
no.
of...
No.
Yeah.
There was a badger.
What kind of butler have you got?
A badger
Have
was...
him run over
Yeah.
for me.
No.
We shall sit on a throne and watch this.
You're like the godfather of the vermin world.
A badger was run over outside the house, and my parents were staying, and this badger obviously had to be killed, put down, to put it out of its pain. And all my father could find was a big stick. So he went outside and he had to hit the badger repeatedly with this big stick. And this is remembered by my son, because it was explained to him like this, as the time Grandad made the badger better with the stick.
Are you sure that's actually what happened?
At the point the badger has been run over, and then this old guy comes up and tries to finish it off with a stick.
Yeah. It freaks my dad out, actually, thinking about it. It's horrible.
Your dad gets badger flashback.
Just big black and white and white and black and black and white and claw. And then red! Black, white, red all over.
Turn off Wind in the Willows! Turn off Wind in the Willows!
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
I will have world news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is 1.6 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many immigrants are so lazy they haven't even bothered to come over here?
What in decibels is Brian Blessed?
Is it when they go back to us, how many drachma will there be to the euro?
For about a week or so.
How many Scottish people now say they voted yes in the referendum?
Is it what was the crucial missing ingredient from England's bid for the 2022 World Cup?
Is it how much are cats owed in YouTube advertising?
Is it when I went on Dragon's Den, how much did I want for a 2% share in my body hoover business.
James, talk numbers. How many? What's your turnover?
Well, Deborah. I haven't really got the numbers in my head. That's what they say, isn't it?
Right, I'm out.
That usually gets...
Is it? What is the count in Sesame Street up to now?
We think he's just somewhere in a bar,
Yeah.
just still counting. Tiny Transylvanian puppet in a bar. 1.5.
If you go and use a Glastonbury toilet, is it how many people seem to have used that toilet before you have?
Is it what number, when typed into a calculator and turned upside down, becomes, ooh, GI?
Is it, after you've popped, how many Pringles can you eat before you must stop?
Is it, since I started this sentence, how much further has Greece got into debt?
It's to do with Greece, clearly, yes, we're all dancing around. What is 1.6 billion?
This is the amount in euros that Greece are supposed to pay back to the IMF by the 30th of June.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Sarah Pascoe. Well done. Yes.